Hello and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the website, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest social media AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Oil My Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, Coca-Cola James, alongside Tequila Calico.
I mean, after last week, I feel like I just need a whole gallon because I was squashed like a vegetable.
Yes, like a vegetable, not a fruit.
It is a vegetable indeed.
And we have not Inductees, who is not here with us tonight, but it was still a great week for wrestling with, as we had Casey Santana and Big Sam, two double interviews, two very different individuals from different parts of the world. Definitely do not recommend their interviews enough. Go into the podcast to check them out. This upcoming Tuesday, we have Kenzie, who is a part of the Swedish wrestling scene. We talk all about that, wrestling Marcus of Man, tag team with Luxury Booty, anime, video games, and a lot more. This upcoming Wednesday, we have Jim Melancholy, our first ever interview from Kuwait. He competed, he trained at the Nightmare Factory in Georgia with Cody Rhodes. We talk about that, a couple of anecdotes and stories from his time here, what he's doing in Kuwait, and a whole lot more. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips on that.
But I think it's fun that we have that little story that we could always like go back to if anything should pop up. We could always like remember Rebooty, like, hey, you know. So and then we kind of like ended the tag team in a way where I was she'd like ghosted me and trying to like reach out to her, but maybe now I've learned a little bit better about how to like not like be desperate for women online, and maybe that's a lesson you can teach the people like in the crowd, like, oh, it's good that you have some dignity maybe and stuff, but it's just kind of fun. I like playing with that kind of expectation. People know that as well, like from people being online, they know about these kind of folks, so kind of good to like encompass that into the character a little bit.
So he tagged in Cody. So Cody came in, and guess what he did?
What?
He gave me a pedigree.
Huh.
I took a pedigree from Cody Rhodes, and that was not recorded. I hated myself for not recording it because, of course, I couldn't. But that moment, oh my God. I wrestled QT, Luke, and Cody on my first, let's say, non-official match, and they beat the shit out of me. And because Cody knew that I was trying to be a heel, he said, kick out at 1. I'm like, what? Should I? Yeah, that was so much fun. So yeah, Coach Cody and I, we have a lot in common, I guess, but I never really realized it.
And then on, I believe, the 19th, the 19th we have Jeremy Prophet. The 20th we have Godfather of Swole. The 25th, which is a Monday, on another Monday interview, we have Fox. On the 26th we have Honest John. On the 27th we have Izzy B. A part of our wrestling that we have this weekend, we have on the 2nd, April 2nd, Lizard Man Nathan Niles. On the door, we have Zeke and Dino. More information on what else we're doing for that weekend coming up. On the 9th, we have Nairo Robles. On the 10th, April 10th, I should say, we have Aisha Raymond. And then on April 17th, we have Mitch Clark. I think we're done putting ourselves over for the time being. It may have been a good week for wrestling, but we are wrestling with the news. And this isn't necessarily a wrestling news per se, but it's definitely something that hit me hard this week. Akira Toriyama, the writer of Dragon Ball Z, the manga artist, the person that made anime what it is today, has sadly passed away. Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorite shows, one of the biggest shows in anime, transcended the pop culture. I know that you're a fan of Dragon Ball as well, Cleo. Do you maybe say some words?
I mean, Dragon Ball Z was the first cartoon, like anime wise, that the hood was able to like catch on to, right? Like to me, I mean, when I'm thinking about it, it's like Dragon Ball Z. When I was watching it, I first started watching it, it used to come on right after school, like right around 4:30, and we would go home and watch it, and the storylines were so intense. And you know, the crazy part was it was just like this thing, and it was like a phenomenon because during that time, and this is I'm giving myself away, it was like Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z, which were like two totally Japanese made, you know, shows and animations crossing over in America. And usually, you know, mainstream America would catch on, but when it caught on in the hood, yeah, it was over. It was over. And then once the video game came out, it was really over. But and rest in peace to the guy. I will say this: Piccolo was black, and everyone we would say is Piccolo is black. And there are so many memes coming out that they used to come out with Piccolo, knowing that he's Goku's kid, knowing he's Goku's dad.
Gohan's dad.
Gohan's dad, not Goku's dad. Gohan's dad. So if it wasn't for that cartoon show, we wouldn't have all these jokes about the black Piccolo try to hit the Tuli on Goku for being a missing dad and him being the real dad. So, I mean, to me, that's the funniest thing. But overall, that story was always great. And I remember I was in high school, 9th grade. We used to do the Ginyu Force
Yes. Poses.
freaking poses, and it was just like you're in doom with Raccoon. But I love Jace. I just love Jace's shit. His shit was on point. Jace, he was on point. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it gives me like that cartoon has fond memories in my life and in my heart, and it sucks that he's gone, but he's left a plethora of catalog in his animations that'll live forever.
You're absolutely right. If there's two things that saved my life, it's wrestling and anime. So deeply saddened to hear about it. Like I said, we have a Dragon Ball Z Macy's parade float. Like, what other anime had that? Who else would be able to break into that?
Yu-Yo,
I mean, Sailor Moon.
Naruto.
Because remember, Who?
Naruto.
Oh, Scooter, what's up? Naruto, yeah.
Naruto had a float a number of years ago. It was a one and done thing. It wasn't going to be like a permanent addition.
I know that there was a One Piece float this year.
Yes, it's the other one.
But I mean, Dragon Ball was the first to do it. It seems like Dragon Ball was always the first to do it when it came to anime. When it came to pop culture.
It was part of that anime influx. Because you remember, I think Scooter will remember. You remember, what was it called?
Speed Racer.
Speed Racer was another one. Ronin Warrior, Sailor Moon. But in the 90s, they had that overboard of animations and like Ronin Warrior, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z just caught on super quick.
See, here on the East Coast, it would air. I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would have to be at school by by 7:15, and Dragon Ball Z, I should say, mostly the King Kai saga, would be on at 6:30 in the morning. For some reason over here in New York, the from 5 to 8 a.m. were the anime hours here.
Maybe that's in.
That's interesting because on the South it was 2:30 to 5:30 on Toonami. That's the name of it. I was trying to come up. Toonami.
I mean, that sounds about right for me, at least.
Well, I also used to get KTLA out here in New York. When I would watch, Pokemon in the afternoon, I would just wait 3 hours to watch it again.
Really? Pokemon came on in the Damn. That's great. It came on in the afternoon for you? It came on in the morning for me.
It started out in the morning, and then it moved like 6 p.m. here, because that would have been 3 p.m. there.
Oh man, our shit was like Pokemon for me came on at like 6:30 in the morning, right before I went to school.
Well, like I said, an immeasurable impact on the world of anime, and just the world in general. Obviously, Dragon Ball Z is iconic at this point. So, like I said, deeply saddened to hear about his passing, and thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family. Now that we're done with wrestling with anime, let's switch back to wrestling with entertainment. As you already heard, we're being joined by Scooter Dust as well. Good to hear from you, man.
See what you did there.
And a bit of good news this week, because we have a lot of bad news to talk about. Paul Heyman, Bull Nakano, Barry Windham, and Mike Rotunda are all heading into the WWE Hall of Fame. Personally, I think this is a really strong Hall of Fame lineup. I totally called Paul Heyman.
I think we all did.
Yeah, everybody did.
I mean, if there was any place to do Paul Heyman, it was going to be in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
As a headliner, nonetheless.
Bull Nakano, maybe unexpected, but not unwelcome, I would say.
Well, yeah. Somebody apparently got the apparently spoiled the list, and on that list they had Paul Heyman at the top, Paul Nakano, U.S. Express, Barry Windham, and Mike Rotunda, which I find it very odd that Mike Rotunda would go in under the U.S. Express, and
not Erwin R. Shyster.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling they were planning on making it Money Incorporated, but then, the whole embezzlement thing.
Virgil.
And Virgil, yeah. This will make Barry Windham a 2-time Hall of Famer.
He went in with the
Horseman. Yep.
Yeah.
And this supposedly leaves Muhammad Ali, Leah Maivia, Thunderbolt Patterson, and Bray Wyatt.
I was going to say it seems a little strange that they would induct Mike Rotunda and not Bray Wyatt.
Well,
it depends on the post. They usually do one person who's deceased because they don't want it to be like this.
Yeah.
Uberly deceased fest.
Yeah.
So if it was that one, it would be him. You think?
Yeah.
He is going. He is going in. He's definitely going in. They just haven't. They're waiting to announce his name.
Right. These names only started on Monday.
Yeah. And to be quite honest, this almost seemed like it was like a little bit of a rush job. Like, oh shit, we forgot the Hall of Fame.
Yes, because they usually knock it like at the beginning of February.
Yeah, the marquee inductee is usually known at least by the Royal Rumble. You have there's the marquee inductee, the top of the card, the mid card, the lower card / jobber,
the celebrity wing,
the celebrity, the female / manager / big heavy award category, and the in memoriam.
But also,
Heyman checks off a lot of those boxes already. So,
I mean, I'm okay with the U.S. Express, but I would have thought the Nasty Boys would have made it.
Demolition.
Yes, Demolition once again is getting overlooked. Then again, the Nasty Boys fell out of favor with the WWE. Why do you think in everything that they've done, they haven't been back?
Yeah, that's true. But you made the point that it kind of seemed like a rush job to induct people. But also keep in mind that the Hall of Fame used to be its own separate event from everything. You had to sell tickets solely just for the Hall of Fame and hope it was enough to get people interested to buy a ticket. Now the Hall of Fame is a combo with SmackDown. If you bought a ticket to SmackDown, you are legally obligated to stay for the Hall of Fame. So they could really...
I don't know about legally obligated, but we'll figure that out when I'm there.
That whole, you blame the pandemic for this, because once that meant, the pandemic hit right in the go-home stretch of time before WrestleMania 36.
Yeah.
And that brought everything to a screeching halt. And being able to get the Hall of Fame done anyway, was a cost cutting measure and a mandate back then, and it seems like that opened up their eyes to the potential cost cutting they could do if if you could have guaranteed audience.
Right.
Two, that your talent doesn't have to exactly get black tied up and walk a red carpet. It doesn't have the same luster or shine that it used to.
Yeah.
I mean, the days when it was just like in a banquet hall, and it was kind of just between the wrestlers and.
Yeah, except that only happened twice, and after that, there was no more Hall of Fame ceremony until WrestleMania 20. There was one for 93 and 94. And it started right after Andre died.
Yeah.
But then from 94 to 2004, nothing. There was nothing. And then that's when they decided to relaunch the actual Hall of Fame. So it's I wouldn't mind if they did like a roast.
I mean, they did do that at WrestleCon, I know, or WrestleCade. What was it called? Starcast. There you go. Completely off on that. I think it's maybe better that it's with SmackDown, because selling the price point is who is going to draw rather than who deserves it. So maybe it's not as glitzy and glamorous as it was, but I kind of feel the opposite. I kind of feel that more people are maybe getting acknowledged because there's no pressure to have an NWO or DX or something like of that nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still gotta have somebody there that make people want to stay after the show.
But like I said, you're legally obligated. You're locked into the arena until it's over.
No, ain't locking them.
This is why.
That's kidnapping, sir.
Have you ever heard the protocols to see an NXT show?
No.
It's low-key kidnapping.
Yeah.
Not low-key the wrestler. Low-key like kidnapping.
Not low-key, God of Mischief.
No, not that low-key. Not low-key. Low-key. Let's just call him
low-key. Sus kidnapping.
What the fuck are we talking
Is that what
about?
That's what the kids are saying? I'm 40 now. I'm out of tune. Or technically I'm 10, but
that's right. Yes. Happy 10th birthday.
Yes. 3 more years and you officially become a man.
Shit, wait till I get 25.
The current Hall of Fame roster, how do you feel about it? Kaliko.
I'll reserve till they fill it out. Because the tag team, I easily could have thought it would have been I mean, Midnight Express. I mean, when I saw Express, I'm thinking, oh shit, the Midnight Express. But the I mean, it's deserving. Bull Nakano's overdue.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, it was a given because it was Philly. But I got to see where they round the rest of them out, because Bray's going in.
Yeah.
But who's going to be that celebrity guy or
Muhammad
gal?
Ali. Muhammad Ali.
So they bring all famous people.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali most likely would be inducted by his daughter or even
His daughter Layla.
Yeah. Thunderbolt Patterson, for those of you who don't know, and I hate that I'm saying it like this, the guy from WCW that looks like Teddy Long but wasn't Teddy Long. He started out he didn't start out, but when Ice Train was wrestling at WCW in '93, Thunderbolt Patterson was his manager. That's I hope nobody saw that and thought, oh, must be related to Pat. I think they are leaving one name off of this list. And that's Lex Luger.
I mean, yeah, Lex and Cindy Lauper as well. But I mean,
She would.
Huh?
I'm having the weirdest deja vu right now.
Yeah, she's not in there.
God, yeah. What, man? That's.
She's not in yet. You mean Snoop Dogg is in, but she's not in?
Nope.
Yeah, and there's no more Warrior Award.
There isn't.
I mean, they only had so many people to give it to.
And I mean, since the person who gave it out was released.
Who? Titus?
No, Dana. Dana Warrior.
That's right.
Oh,
Dana
yeah.
Warrior's gone. That's right. God damn it! Totally forgot she was gone.
I would love to see Luna Vachon get a proper induction instead of just being part of the legacy class.
Is she part of the legacy class?
Yeah, 2019 WrestleMania 35.
So,
I feel like she should have got a proper induction, though.
yeah. Oh.
But the thing is that who's going to induct her? Because I don't remember. That could have been an issue too.
She doesn't have kids, as far as I know, right?
No, she yes, she does.
No, she
She has kids?
Yeah, she has kids. And
somebody tapped that?
Gangrel?
You can.
Did you say Gangrel? No.
Yeah, they were married, weren't they?
They were. Were they married? Maybe. But you know who you get to induct her? Kevin Sullivan.
I don't think they want Kevin Sullivan to be there.
See, they don't. The WWE doesn't have a problem with Kevin Sullivan. That's the weird part.
They don't?
No.
Oh.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm not against it.
I would say if you could get. I would say if you could get Dustin to induct her. I'd say Staple, but no.
I was going to say, considering that they couldn't get Kevin Nash to go to Sting's retirement, I highly doubt that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, Lex Luger and Diamond Dallas Page got permission. But Kevin Nash is not being there. It didn't really have to do with not being given the permission. It was more so one. Sting was actually wanting them on TV. Two, Kevin Nash's continued declining health.
Okay. Well,
It wasn't months ago. Nash revealed that he had cancer.
well, like I said, the Hall of Fame, it's shaping up to be a good Hall of Fame. There should be some interesting anecdotes and stories to be told. Definitely interesting to see what Paul Heyman says.
Question is who inducts them?
Roman. It has to be Roman.
No.
No.
No. It's either going to be Austin, or Punk.
Ooh. Hollywood Blondes?
I feel like
I mean, I would have thought like Dreamer, the Dudleys.
they all hate him.
Too bad Taz ain't.
I get where you're coming from, Scooter, but to me, it's either Punk or Roman, and Roman is who he's currently with. So
Well,
it makes perfect sense.
You forget that there's going to be another member of the Samoan family on this list.
Who is that?
Rock's grandmother, Leah Maivia.
Really?
Yep. The promoter herself.
Well, hot damn. Rock comes in and says, shit.
My family's getting everything.
You know,
We know y'all.
you know what? For the love of God, somebody tell them to put Earthquake in.
Oh God, yeah, he's not in yet.
Put John. Yeah, you know.
He's due. Yeah.
I watched his Dark Side of the Ring, and there was nothing dark about it. I mean,
except his death. That's about it.
Yeah, John was a tender, loving soul of a human being, and I knew someone who I was part of a forum with, and when he had passed, I had sent the family, a card and flowers, and I kind of cut his infamous shoot promo from Nitro. Yeah, Earthquake, yeah, Typhoon or Tugboat. Why the hell not? You know what? Screw it. Put Virgil in.
Well, from the Hall of Fame honoring people to getting suspended. Sammy Guevara is officially suspended from AEW after the fuck up he encountered against Jeff Hardy a couple weeks ago on Rampage. It's I believe it was noted that he was suspended because they didn't stop the match after Jeff Hardy got hurt. They wasn't sure if he had a concussion at the time, and they continued. He even hit a go to sleep on Hardy, which hits the head, and if somebody has concussion, that's not exactly the best thing to do. Is this AEW finally cracking the whip, saying, "Hey, if you're not careful in that ring, you're going to suffer some consequences." It's weird to say that, considering what happened on Wednesday, not Wednesday, on Sunday
Sunday night.
with Darby.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
But we'll get to that when we review the show. Kaliko, your thoughts?
It's mixed bag. I thought, unpaid paternity leave. I was thinking FMLA, but okay. Good for. I mean, it's good for safety purposes. But I mean, the telltale is when Matt came out, right? Like, Matt was rather pissed.
Well, Matt suffered some similar consequences when he wrestled Sammy. So, yeah.
So is Sammy the Hardy killer or something?
It appears so.
I mean, yeah, if anything, this is as much on Jeff and the referee as much as it is on Sammy.
Who was the referee in that match?
I don't remember. That's it. That's how memorable it wasn't.
If it was the guy that looks like a zombie, then that makes perfect sense. He's an idiot.
What? Bandito.
Bandito, he's a wrestler.
No, he's now a referee.
Bandito was a referee?
Wait, what?
Not Bandito Jr.
Get the fuck out of here.
I didn't even know that Bandito was a junior.
There's a Bandito Junior. Two, I'm lost.
Yeah, it's the whole Cage Page controversy all over again.
That's just what we needed.
So crap, I just forgot. Yeah, it's, if Jeff is at the point where he knew something was up and he decided to go ahead and do it anyway, that would be one. Even if they tried to use it as a work, it's irresponsible, and it screams to me that Jeff has a death wish, and that's to go out in the ring. And I've only known one other person who would go through something like that and continue to go even after numerous people told him, please don't go back in there. We want you to live. No, I'm actually talking about my mentor, Mikey Whipwreck. And it's just, I don't think there was a point in the suspension. I don't think there was any point of like making it a big deal. Because with all this stuff about concussions and brain injuries and CTE and that makes the times where it is actually taken seriously, it makes those look like a joke.
Well, you brought up a good point. Sammy got suspended, but whoever the referee, as far as I know, wasn't suspended. That doesn't seem, it's nice that they're trying to do something here, but there are multiple guilty parties in this.
There is an update. Okay, yes, Sammy Guevara's match against Jeff Hardy, Rampage. concussion protocol not followed. The suspension came from the disciplinary committee.
Oh, so Daniel Bryan.
Basically, yes. Guevara was told to go right to the finish by Doc Sampson after Sampson checked on Hardy. But Guevara didn't. He did a couple more things and hit the GTH. The feeling was that the match should have ended right there.
Right.
This is a clear breakdown in communication. I would also not be surprised if Sammy, if Jeff said, "No, let's do one more, and then we'll take it home." Because if you're Sammy Guevara, you're in there with Jeff Hardy, and Jeff is somebody you grew up watching. How likely are you to have blinders on, have tunnel vision at the fact that, oh boy, I'm in the ring wrestling one of my boyhood icons.
But and you're absolutely right about that. And I have no doubt that Sammy did not mean to hurt Jeff. I don't think anybody thought that. And Jeff does come from an era where not necessarily like you said a death wish, but even when you're hurt, you finish the match as planned. It's that old school mentality. But I get where okay, if Jeff wanted to continue, to maybe have some maturity to say no, let's finish this right here and now. On Guevara's part, clearly that was not the case.
I mean, apparently Guevara was going to get some sort of push again, back into
a tag team with Chris Jericho. Yay! Like we all wanted to see that again.
Yeah, which, by the way, may or may not have involved me.
It definitely did not.
It definitely did. And Jericho was just too afraid, and thank God I told Sammy to do what he did, because now he's suspended and the match can't happen. Whew! I am the puppet master. I am the master of puppets. Let's move on, please.
Let's move on from getting suspended to leaving the company. Mike Santana from Santana and Ortiz has parted ways. I believe it was cordially with AEW. Obviously unhappy for a very long time with what he was doing with the company. It does beg the question, where does Mike Santana go from here? Kaliko?
That's a good question, because for about a decade he's been known with Ortiz. So it's going to be tough to figure out where he's going to go solo. We hope he can make it. Solo? I mean, that's the only option he got, unless he finds another Puerto Rican run around.
I was making a joke he was wrestling solo Sokoa, but
he's gonna go work for Uncle Tito and sell vodka.
And come out to Santana. The song.
Which one? Oye como vas? Oye como vas?
Stop singing. We don't have money for rights.
I wasn't singing. I was raising some demons.
It's-
Will you stop it?
hey, we're just interpreting a famous person who was happened to be from TJ.
Now, do you see WWE taking a chance on Santana? Maybe doing something with him?
They got enough people to fucking try to figure out.
What they need is more French wrestlers now.
But, I mean, WWE, especially NXT, right now, when it comes to the younger talent of AEW, it's kind of like, we do things with your talent that you didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Brian Pillman Jr. got a massive push in NXT. Jade Cargill hasn't even had a match, and she's still like the most talked about person.
She had a match.
She was in the Rumble.
The Rumble is a match.
Dick Murdoch was in the Royal Rumble. What's your point?
It's a match.
She's had as many matches as I had with Chris Jericho.
Exactly. There you go.
Which, by the way, is now confirmed to be the main event for the Rock and Roll Wrestle Cruise. Me versus Jericho in a game of Chinese checkers.
I didn't even know you knew how to play regular checkers, let alone Chinese checkers.
Everyone else plays checkers. I play chess, motherfucker.
I thought you'd be a mean backgammon player.
Surprisingly, I am. I used to hustle.
See?
I used to hustle backgammon.
But what say you, Scooter, on Santana? Do you think he's just gonna be an indie? What's the word? Indie.
Darling.
Fish? Indie fish?
And not indie darling, as Scooter said. Or do you think they might take a chance on the WWE? Is there a TNA return?
Well, it's just like the ocean under the moon, but it's the same as the emotion that I get from you. Think it'd be so. All right. I'm done quoting Rob Thomas. It's the Sandboard chord progression, as well as some tunes. Although it may be lame, at least it's not auto-tuned.
That was like the I hated Smooth. Smooth was like the Despacito of 2000.
The WWE won't take a chance on just Santana by himself. Hell, you know what? Go get Cousin Jenny and we can, have the Santana dynasty.
Oh yeah.
Wrestling.
Has more.
No, Lucha has uno más. De Familia de Royal.
I mean, they have enough vatos gangbanging on each other in WWE, though.
If only you know how to say adrenaline in Spanish.
Adrenalino?
Adrenalino in the solo. Something, Cody Rhodes. I'm going to get canceled.
You are. Oh, it's Adrenalina. I was close.
That's a great wrestler name. Adrenalina.
El Adrenalina? I mean, that'd be a great female name because it's more feminine.
Fire in the hole, every fart out of control. You and all to get it fucking down my leg. What were we talking about? Some kind of fruit?
Santana. I think.
MLW, maybe at the very least.
I think he might make his name unnamed for himself as a singles competitor on the Indies. Maybe do something with TNA again. maybe down the line WWE will look at him, but like you said, if it was Santana and Ortiz, yeah, you know, they were high profile tag.
Yeah,
Santana on his own, he does have to do some. He has to prove some things as a singles competitor. Whether he will or not seems to be has yet to be seen. All right, so we talked about the suspended. We talked about the one that left, and now it's time to talk about the one that got fired. Kevin Kelly, of all people, had a little meltdown. Um, what's the word? He accused Ian Rockabani of sabotaging his AEW career. Blamed management for it, and now he is gone. Um, there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, I would like to say I don't necessarily see Ian Riccaboni to be the type of guy that sabotages somebody's career. He does genuinely seem like a nice guy. I could be wrong about that. But I will say that Kevin Kelly, just commentary wise, was maybe not up to par with the way that he used to do commentary in the past. Um, it did kind of suffer in quality. But what say you, Kaliko? What are your thoughts on Kevin Kelly kind of having a meltdown?
No one cared. I mean, they don't care about announcer beefs. I think the only person that it actually, I think there's only one person in the world where it mattered when they left in their prime, and that was Mauro fucking Ronaldo. Everything else is just for the bird, and that's because Mauro is so fucking good, and he's still good, even with boxing. He's good. It's just that's the only person where someone actually cared.
Okay.
No one's clamoring for we want Kevin Kelly. I miss Mauro Ronaldo every goddamn day.
Ronaldo,
Please
finish
come
the
back.
story, damn it.
Please come back. Mauro Ronaldo was like Andre 3000 of fucking.
He just wanted to do a little acting. Now, for anyone past on people, drop their.
He's Andre 3000 of announcing, and they just pushed him away. And now he's like, fuck it.
No speaker boxing. No speaker boxing.
Scooter, you want to add something to it, or nobody cares?
Maybe people would have cared if it was Kelly and not Kevin Kelly.
I definitely would have killed if it was Kathy Kelly.
You know, it makes me wonder if there really is a bias in this firing. Because this is supposedly Kevin Kelly supported something on a Discord server. I'm not going to mention what he was supposedly supporting and what Riccaboni had brought it up. I think that they probably were looking to get rid of him. They just needed a reason to make it look illegal on paper. I mean, did Kevin Kelly come into his own as the second voice of Ring of Honor?
I mean, he alternative. He was definitely the voice of New Japan.
Yes,
America.
Well, not clearly. I don't think
yeah.
we're listening to Collections Milano and Makia Toy.
But hey, who knows? You know, Kevin Kelly back into the no, for the love of God, no. Yeah, this it does not doesn't matter.
Or you could tell me if this matters, and that is Kazuchika Okada is now of All Elite, and has joined the Elite. If a Japanese wrestler joins a third-rate company, does anybody see it? Kaliko.
Damn, third rate? God damn, dude. That bad?
I mean, they've gone. You have to admit they've gone down the tier since in the last like year or two, right?
Well, who the fuck is number two?
I mean, I would say NJPW.
Oh gosh. And that says a lot. Okada there. It's dicey because they just fired him from the elite and hired Okada, and I his introduction was lackluster. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like to me, it felt like it was lackluster.
Like I read it in a spoiler. You know, the taping spoiler. You know, someone like Okada showing up should be a big deal.
It should.
It should be. Like when Nakamura came to NXT, I thought it would have been bigger than that. I thought the reaction would have been bigger than that, which is weird because Okada was New Japan and didn't get the same reaction that Ospreay got.
Well, you're kind of comparing apples to oranges, though, Kaliko. When Nakamura came to WWE, they didn't just throw Nakamura on a random NXT and say, "Hey, this is Shinsuke Nakamura." They built it up. They told you who this guy was before he actually came.
No.
And
What I'm saying is when they showed the video, like what I'm saying is when they showed the video of Nakamura, everybody was like, it didn't take anyone 3 seconds to go, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they were. If I remember correctly, the videos were supposedly happening almost at random, and whenever they popped up, because they're the Trons, nobody thought twice of it until the day he turned around in one of those videos and said, "Hello, Sammy," and then that was it from there. I mean,
but also keep in mind, where did he debut? He debuted at a takeover. I think it was near WrestleMania time. It was one.
yes,
Take over Dallas. I know exactly where the fuck it is.
Right.
yeah.
So
He's
people
last.
from people from all over the world come to wherever WrestleMania is, and a lot of people buy tickets to all of the events that's going to be around at that time. So obviously, those people were going to know who Nakamura was, just wrestling fan culture. So you got that big pop. You didn't. They were going to get a big. They were going to get a pop because they had a killer match. But he got that initial pop because people knew who he was. So when he came out, the next week on NXT TV in Full Sail, people were like, "Oh shit, this guy's a big deal," and gave him the same respect and reaction. You kind of understand what
Right.
I'm getting
I,
at?
I understand that part, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna have literally the John Cena of New Japan come, I thought it would have been a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, he just joined the Elite, and that was it. And not even the
Right.
Elite;
That's
it
what
was
I'm
the
saying. It just
Bucks.
seems it was lackluster in that regard to me.
I mean, even Will Ospreay got take a shit.
I mean, Will Ospreay also built footing by having the Jericho feud. So I see you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was already exposed to live AEW crowds, whereas Nakamura was not.
Like Okada is just like, eh.
well, I mean, keep in mind that the last time Okada was on AEW TV, he teamed with Orange Cassidy to lose to Daniel Bryan. So, uh, do they
Which
make?
makes it even worse that this shit happened because they know who the fuck he is.
Could this be? Maybe they don't care who he is.
If that's the case, they got a fucking issue.
Well, okay. Would he have had this problem if he was in WWE? Or would they have gotten him to a point where people, they would have respected where he came from, so to speak?
Okay, who got a bigger pop in their debut, Okada or Asuka?
Mm, I'd probably say Oscar.
My point exactly. And Asuka was probably way less known than Okada.
Yeah, I would
Okada
definitely
was
say.
like number one PWI wrestler.
I mean, Finn Balor, who lost to Okada literally before he took the plane ride to America to go to NXT.
Which
It's
tells me it's an issue. That means there's a problem
it,
there.
it's that Vince McMahon bubble that if it didn't happen stateside, it hasn't happened at all.
Right.
Um, if if there had ever been any mention of Okada on from commentary, because they would do that. They would mention other New Japan names, but again, nothing. They're nothing out of the ordinary. And Okada, I'm I'm wondering if the fact that he he had a cup of coffee in TNA, and as the stupid DJ.
He wasn't a DJ. He was Samoa Joe's Kato. Literally, they dressed him like Kato from the Green Hornet.
Good morning.
Yeah. I wonder how soon he's going to return to
Okay.
that character to be Samoa Joe's bodyguard again.
See,
Well,
now,
my I get what y'all are saying, but my point is that it's it, it's not like the issue I have with it is that motherfucker, like everybody's going, well, Okada, maybe they don't have they had New Japan belts on that bitch. So it ain't like they just like, oh, it's like a light introduction into fucking New Japan. Moxley had the goddamn title on that bitch for ransom for fucking years and was fucking carrying the title down the fucking ring. So it's not like I'm sitting up there going, I guess I'm lost in that translation of how AEW introduced them to that side, and it didn't correlate to them being educated about that guy,
yeah.
or they didn't care. I could be the point. Could be the point that they don't care.
You might. That's another great point. They might just not care. Uh,
I'm betting. I would even bet on this that AEW didn't want to take any shine away from Will Ospreay.
well, I did. I was able
But
to.
but you got the biggest goddamn Japanese. You got the guy who
Yeah,
literally carried New Japan and beat his ass.
I will say this: that there's somewhat of a positive light on it. I did. I was able to see the ratings for AEW for Wednesday. I don't have the specific numbers in front of me, but the only time the ratings actually spiked into a positive number, higher than it was the Okada segment, and it was arguably it was at its lowest when Osprey had his first match. So keep that in mind as well.
yeah.
It just boggles my mind. But,
You know, there's also that thing of, oh yeah, you know what? We announced Osprey's going to be signing, so that he signed, but he still has a number of months to do with New Japan. So here he is. You'll remember him in a number of months, right? Won't you? No. Uh, that that is almost a kiss of death, if you will.
Do you know where AEW is going to be next week?
it ain't Japan.
Boston.
It ain't fucking Japan.
Uh,
Maybe they'll be in Thailand.
I mean,
Bangkok. Yeah, Boston. So big business in Boston.
yep, not the business that they wanted, but it's the business that they got. Oh, that you know what? That may have played a factor in the reaction. They're in Boston. It the money, everything is money. Um, People interpret it as Sasha Banks was gonna come. So maybe
No.
people kind of got a
No,
little sour when it wasn't
well,
Sasha and it was Okada.
me. Well,
So you're trying to say they're trying to outmark the marks? Is that what you're trying to
I
say?
mean, why were they really expecting people to think that the fact that Tony Khan announced that there would be a Dynamite in Boston, where Sasha is from? Did you really think Tony would actually try and outmark himself by debuting her 1 week earlier?
This wasn't business.
No! Big business is this upcoming Wednesday.
How the fuck does that make any sense?
Exactly!
So Okada just came out on a random
Collision.
at
Col-
AEW.
they were collision tapings. That's why I said.
He didn't even make it on Dynamite. They
I'm so done.
Here come all the dogs.
Is he on diet? Is he on Collision instead of? Oh no, no fucking way. There's no way. There's no goddamn way.
That's right. Okada aligned with the Young Bucks. No, this was on. Wait, was it? No, wait. Yes, it was. Yes, this was. Okada's debut. Which when you think about it, since it looks like he's being shoehorned into a feud with Eddie Kingston.
Why?
You have the newest guy to show up from New Japan to try and ruin the Triple Crown or the Continental Champion. One belt.
So where was AEW if it wasn't in Boston?
That was my god.
I believe they were in. Oh god, where was it?
March 6th. And how can I find where they was?
Duluth, Georgia.
The gas.
Fucking go! They were in Buttfuck nowhere.
No,
That's my fucking point.
The Gas Sales Arena.
You're in the middle of motherfucking Georgia.
Atlanta.
They're gonna and they'll save the real debuts for when they do that big show in Fart Joke Stadium.
Do you see my point? That you might as well been in fucking Birmingham, Alabama. Boy,
he might have got a bigger reaction there. At least they know there are wrestlers there. All the broken ones go there.
No fucking one in the middle of fucking Georgia.
Nick Saban would have gotten a bigger reaction.
I mean, the motherfucking running backs coach of the UGA would have got a bigger pop than Okada.
Okay. Well, it took us an unprecedented amount of time to figure this out, but we finally got the case.
Well,
but Duluth, motherfucking, I'm done.
From
if you're gonna debut Okada, debut him. All these times they be in Chicago and they just couldn't hold his ass till Chicago.
It's one thing to really get under the skin of a heel giving a promo. It's a completely separate thing to not let the man speak at his own wedding.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Condom is married. Ex-condom has gotten married.
Well, ex-condom got married?
Yeah, had his wife and his mommy there. Had them both there at the same time. So he's forever to the games.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Someone needs to remind him what kayfabe is.
Or this is a good opportunity for some storytelling. Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean, when they sat down his wife, they said they asked her. She said, so what made you realize he was the one? And she said, well, he's been my brother for all my life, so.
Will you stop it?
It's that Folgers commercial.
Let's that will conclude the news.
Did I ever tell you about Aaliyah Mysterio?
Now a quick word from our sponsors, and it's not Folgers. So
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with AEW Revolution 2024 review. It was last Sunday. It took place in Greensboro, North Carolina, at the
Greensboro, what, like the pizza place?
Coliseum.
No, he's talking about the Japanese beer.
Yeah.
Ah.
It was, the attendance was 16,878. I think this is the biggest crowd they've had in quite some time. Arguably maybe the most they've had. Keep in mind this is a 35,000 capacity arena? That can't be right.
No.
I mean, it's what Wikipedia says, but that can't be right.
35,000 for at peak usage. So presumably for
Bullshit! Wait a minute. So
presumably for a concert or political event.
that's crazy. So that thing can actually hold more people in it than the crypto. Because crypto's max is like 1920.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Either way, it was a big crowd. And to be honest, my thoughts on this show, it was peaks and valleys, in my opinion. The things that I liked, and the things that I didn't, I just didn't give a shit about.
That ending, man. Woo! Mwah! Chef's kiss.
But what say you, Kaliko? Your thoughts on the show as a whole?
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't that bad. Questionable things at the end there, but
Not wrong.
but we'll just let that rock in itself. But to me, it was okay. It was all right. It was okay.
Scooter?
You know, for a fucking company that loves to run long, somehow, for some reason, this is the one night they decide to
Cut it short.
cut the feed. Not before midnight, not after midnight. Literally, as the clock struck midnight, feed over. It was Halloween Havoc 97 all over again.
Yeah, you're
Or was it 90, yeah, 98. No, yeah, 98, yeah.
you're not wrong about
Yeah.
that.
So it happened.
Well, yeah, it definitely happened.
I remember. It made me remember somebody was still employed.
A couple, yeah.
And it's actually, I think this was rock bottom for a certain team, but we'll get into that.
Well, let's start with the first match of the main card because we don't do buy-ins; they're trash. We have
Damn.
Christian cage match rating with the Patriarchy, Lunchasaurus, Marco Wayne, Pro Diggity, Nick, Damian Wayne. They all defeated Daniel Garcia to retain the AEW TNT Championship in 16 minutes and 50 seconds. Less of a fuck I could not give about this match. It wasn't. It didn't do anything for me. It kind of was on the boring side, which is saying something because Christian could really, actually go and have a good match with somebody like Daniel Garcia. But I just didn't see the upside to this match. Kaliko.
I mean, same. I mean, I think everyone there, for this to be the opening, it was like, But I get why Christian, because Christian has been that guy. He's been the best guy on the mic in that goddamn company. Whether that's good or bad, depending on what he says. But yeah.
Scooter.
What do I always say? What are the most two important matches on a card?
The
The
opening.
first,
Open and close.
yeah. And this was the drizzling shits.
Got it?
AEW isn't. They're trying kind of way too hard now to almost step away from. They're trying to trigger their own Attitude Era.
You can't force something like that.
I know, but you have somebody named Daniel Garcia, which let's face it, that's a generic name. And as much as Garcia, as good as he is in the ring, a lot of AEW talent isn't gonna be seen, as anything more than mid-card fodder until they do something, until AEW takes them seriously. I mean, look what happened to Mario Andretti when he beat Jericho.
You're talking about Action Spaghetti, right?
No, Mario Andretti. He drove the cart and went, whoa! Yeah. This is we're going to be doing a root canal counter for the rest of this review. Matches that I would have rather had a root canal than see, and it's now officially at 1 root canal.
How many stars do you give this one, Scooter?
I give it a black hole because it sucked all the stars right out of it. I'll be nice and give it 2 stars.
Kaliko?
2, because it was the opener. Filler, it would have probably been a 3.
Yeah, I agree with everybody else. It was a 2-star match. That brings us to the second match on the show, the Continental Breakfast Crown Championship. The King of the Bums, Eddie Kingston versus Brian, don't call me Danielson, Brian Sin Danielson. Eddie won in 19 minutes and 45 seconds. Honestly, not a bad match. What they did made sense. How the whole story connected to each other. It Nothing offended me. It all made sense. Maybe a little bit longer than it necessarily should have been. But again, a solid match in my opinion. Kaliko?
I mean, Eddie Kingston out here living his best Austin Aries belt collector life right now.
I will say
Just saying.
I will say one thing. Scooter was completely right about one thing. He thanked a Japanese wrestler he never met. Uh, did you have more to say, Kaliko, or move on to Scooter?
I mean, it was an okay match. I mean, it's Daniel Bryan. He's going to make sure it's safe, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, they are really putting Eddie Kingston on a roll up in this bitch. So it's just a matter of where do they go? What's his peak?
Scooter?
I think the big surprise here is Eddie didn't completely gas himself to go 20 minutes.
Like he's waiting to go to the gas arena, obviously.
That's where they were this past Wednesday.
Oh, that was in Duluth?
That's where the Gas South Arena is.
Okay.
Yes. Fart Joke Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. If this was a Dynamite or a Collision, this could have been a main event. I probably would have put this. I probably would have switched, made this the opener.
I agree.
I'll give it 4 stars.
Kaliko? How many stars?
3.5. I'm just trying to figure out, is everybody going to get tired of Eddie Kingston?
That's a good question.
Or is he going to be like the, what the hell is his name?
Is he going to be like his brother Kofi?
I mean, he's already lasted longer than Kofi title-wise.
Kofi
So,
lasted 6 months at least.
and it all came down in 20 seconds. Not even 20 seconds.
Yeah, well,
4 seconds.
at least Kofi was a world champion.
He's just a champion of breakfasts.
If you have to include a company's world title in a all your favorite titles in one compilation. then it no longer has the right to be called a world championship.
Is it called World Championship? No, it's just the Continental Crown.
Yes, but the ROH World Championship is part of it.
So wouldn't it be called like the Captain Planet Championship?
No. For him, it would be the Captain Crunch.
Correct.
Damn. Oh, now that's
because you either eat him or he cuts up the roof of your mouth.
oh Jesus.
We'll have to talk widely.
Unless you got the peanut butter crunch, they don't really cut the roof of your mouth like the.
I give it 3.5 stars as well. Alright, now we have the All-Star 6-Pack Challenge Scramble match.
My God, these people need to eat.
So we got Warhol defeating NDH as Jericho, Powerhouse Snaps, Lance Archer. What did I call Hook last week?
Captain Hook, Peter Pan.
I can't remember. Just Hook. He like beat Hook.
Holler, do you hear me?
Brian, don't confuse me with Christian Cage match. Definitely not Nick Aldis Magnus. And Dante's Inferno Martin.
That was probably the most intellectual reference that will ever be on this show.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
It lasted 15 minutes and 45 seconds. This was a clusterfuck of what the fuck. Dante Martin literally had the worst spots of all time. Well, maybe not of all time, but it was pretty fucking bad. He flopped Dahlin. And yeah, this was just... Why does this need to be on the show? Kaliko.
Is this why we don't do 6-pack challenges and we just do like gauntlet matches?
Maybe why WWE does it.
Yeah, because you usually want to pay attention on the two people in action. The only problem I have with this is when they do all these sixes, it's hard to try to keep track of action that's popping off all over the place.
Right. WWE...
Because at least with a tag, you're focusing on,
At least with WWE, they don't... they make sure that it's just one thing is going on at a time that you can focus on.
Yeah. I felt like this was helter skelter. It was like just... It was one of those don't blink, and if you blink, you're gonna miss this car accident that's popping off.
Pretty much.
And you kind of, which is good for people who like that. I mean, but we all kind of assumed Wardlow was gonna win. So why would I have to have him go through all this car crashing just for him to come out the winner?
Scoop?
Alright, first of all, they originally called this Meat Madness.
Was it sponsored by like the USDA or something like that for like states?
No, sponsored by the USNDA.
You say NBA or NBA?
USNDA.
Well, if the Joker's in the match, it's an NBA.
AEW's agents, they really need to go back to the drawing board and learn what their matches are supposed to be, because this was not a scramble match. I mean, a scramble match is a set time. with set entrance, and this was just throwing spaghetti against the wall.
Andretti was not in the match.
I mean, first they did it with a friggin' Texas death match. Yeah, which is to them just a last man standing match. Again, fucking stupid. You could have done this on the pre-show.
Like with Brontosaurus from Pokemon.
Oh my god! All right, somebody has to make sure Tony Khan is feeding these people.
How many stars you give this one, Squirtle?
2.5.
Kaliko?
Same.
I think you guys are being generous. 1 star. This was not a good match.
I mean, they booked it right. The right person won. I gotta give him credit for that.
But it's what this leads into. With when when Adam Cole can finally get back in the ring.
Right. Well, let's get to the next match. Roderick Strong, he defeated freshly pooped Orange Cassidy to capture the International Championship in 12 minutes and 45 seconds. Before we actually talk about the match, I love the fact that Matt Taven and Mike Bennett literally went up the ramp with Wardlow and then came back down with Roderick Strong. Um, Other than that, this match didn't necessarily upset me as it necessarily could have. What they did actually make sense. There were a couple of what the fuck moments. I could make the argument it shouldn't have taken Roderick Strong 12 minutes to beat Orange Cassidy. But I can't say the right person did win the match. Kaliko.
So Roderick finally gets some singles gold not associated with ROH. I mean, congrats. There's an order. Orange Cassidy should have had that belt gone a long time ago, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Because they treated that belt like shit. I mean, not Okada, but Naito had the IWGP and he tried to pawn it, and it still had more relevance than goddamn Orange Cassidy having the belt. So just put that out there for you, Nugget. But congrats to Roddy, he earned it. First title, first singles title in AEW. So kudos.
Squirrel.
This match, it really kind of failed to grab my attention, and before I knew it, it was over. And I'm thinking, wait, that's it? That's the finish they went with? Like, okay.
TV's not playing.
And then
This TV is not playing. Why? Can you check? It's not connected. It's not connected.
but in
No, put that-
I mean, yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to this for me. So
Right. Alright. And then, after the match, before we do, our star ratings, Kyle O'Reilly made his return to AEW. Kinda was going to attack Roddy, then didn't attack Roddy, but then hugged Roddy, but was conflicted about hugging Roddy.
Then got a shirt, then gave back the shirt, whispered something into his ear,
Clearly he said
and
sweet nothings.
you know what he said? This is gonna be our Rock and Cody moment.
It would have. Now, clearly I'm not a booker, so maybe I'm ignorant to why they do what they do. But one would have made more sense if, the Wednesday on Dynamite, Darby's alone, no more Sting. Um, Attack the fucking guy that injured you in the first place. Um, am I wrong for that being a logical thing to maybe go over, or is Tony Khan
But
just that much smarter than
it's a matter of he thought enough time has passed that they really don't need to revisit that.
me? Yeah, whatever. How
Oh
many
shit.
stars do you give this one, Scooter?
2.5.
Kaliko, if you're there, how many stars you give it?
5 because Orange Cassidy finally lost that damn title.
I'll go in the middle. I'll give it 3 stars. Alright, now we have the Combat Wombats, John Moxicillin and Claudio Ida Canoli. They defeated FTR, Dax Hardwood, and Cash Wheeler in 21 minutes and 50 seconds. This was arguably the best match on the card, in my opinion. The, there's no tag team better than, FTR out there today. And, Moxley and Claudio does somewhat look like a tag team themselves, so there was good in between everything they kind of did made sense. There was a little bit of drama, which is always appreciated. Not too much drama. Um, and maybe the wrong person won, but if they're going to run it back to do maybe, a last tag team standing or a dark color match, then that would probably make sense. But if this was just like a one and done deal, then that makes absolutely no sense. Um, what say you, Scooter?
Yeah, it has been nothing but downhill for the for FTR. They have had a really bad last at least 6 months, even more, and it's starting to show. It's like they've reached the point in marriage where you tolerate your spouse, but you're not sure if you're really physically attracted to them anymore. So, I mean that, and the fact that Cash became a prison bitch. No,
He was never in the penitentiary with Dom. Right, Kaliko, your thoughts?
Probably the second best match of the night, but I guess we kind of knew FTR was going down. They're gonna have to. They're already announcing they only had a couple more years, so eventually the slow breakup has to occur in order for, I guess, the wrestling version of Kobe and Shaq dissipate.
How many stars you give this one, Kaliko?
4, a solid 4, because to me the match of the night was another match with a full story.
Scooter?
3.5.
I give this one 5 stars. For the simple fact that John Mox did not bleed. And that, it takes a lot for Moxley not to bleed during a match, and, yeah. He didn't bleed, so it gets 5 stars.
I mean, I don't think Moxley has the ability to form clots anymore.
Now we got the AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm defeated Deonna Purrazzo in 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Nothing to write home about, but it wasn't bad, I would say. Didn't necessarily go too long, didn't go too short. Told a bit of a story, got some good heat on Tony Storm. I guess I would call this somewhat of a success. Kaliko?
What happened is exactly what I expected to happen. Person makes debut, gets a shot at the title, only to lose, and now will be stuck in that climb back to main event women's mediocrity.
You mean main event the Ring of Honor Championship?
No.
Scooter.
I have to admit, I kind of did like seeing Mariah May cosplay as Tony Storm. Yeah, you can love her or hate her, but you can't deny that if you had to make a list of the top 3 things AEW was doing right, you can't deny that Tony Storm would be on the top of that list.
Right.
It's like, literally, it's like the inmates running the asylum. She saw an opportunity and she ran with it. And, again, me, going back to my college days, being having a degree in media and taking so many classes on, black and white cinema and, the starlets of the early 20th century. It's all encapsulating for Tony Storm, and it's the deadpan delivery that she has, not just in the match, but outside of the ring. She is actually keeping kayfabe more so than I think anybody in pro wrestling today.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that she is going to be number 1 on the PWI 500, 200, 500, maybe even the 375.
420.
But spark it. This was a waste of Deonna Purrazzo. There was long-term storytelling embedded in their damn skin. You could have stretched this out.
But AEW, they are going to give you hot shot it to the main event, and then you lose, and then You're stuck floundering in what the fuck land until you figure it out.
Till then,
It happened to Tony. It happened to Athena. It happened to Rio. It happened to Paige. It happened.
until then, chin up,
Certain pattern with the women's division in that regard.
chin up, tits out, and watch for that ass.
How many stars you give this one, Scooter?
With my free hand, 4.
Oh God.
Please stop it. Kaliko.
Not long enough. 3.5.
That's what she said.
I give it a solid 3. Alright. Now we have Will Ospreay versus Kolkutska Takeshita. The match lasted 22 minutes. Why was this on the card, Kaliko?
Because they needed to introduce a Japanese audience to a Southern culture that really don't really care about Japanese wrestlers.
You're talking about Will Ospreay?
Both.
I think thinking of more of, wait, aren't they both Don Callis family, so why are they facing each other now?
Yeah. And I mean, John Callis was on commentary for this match as well.
Well, considering the fact that I guess they got him running through the whole goddamn people, so that's a whole nother thing.
Like, if it was gonna happen, it should have happened in a more organic form, like in a tournament where they had no choice. This, when you really think about it, I don't know if this is brilliant storytelling or if it's completely tasteless.
Scooter, you're acting like you're looking like a sensible human being. Stop it.
But Don Callis is apparently hazing Will Ospreay.
Well, duh, because they're trying to. I mean, it almost like you were wrestling with those Japanese pussies, like
I mean,
Yoshihashi. You need some real motherfuckers in your life.
I will not deny. I will neither confirm nor deny that Don Callis has been in talks with one of us to join the Don Callis family for Will Ospreay's next match against Chris Jericho. Or maybe I just had a dream of that.
No, it was me. Affirmative action hired. That's me.
Well, Bob Iger would be proud. Ryan Reynolds, however, would hate you.
Yeah, he would.
How many stars do you give this one, Scooter?
I'll give it 3 spring rolls.
Kaliko.
Best match of the night. 4.75 shrimp.
On the Bobbies?
Well, when I saw this match came on, all I saw was it said "take shitta," and I did
And I
what
was
the
like,
TV told me, and
I was
I
like, don't
aspirated
mind,
my butter.
don't mind if I yes. And you don't take shit out, you leave a shit out.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you don't take it.
I'm going to take a shit. Well, don't take one of mine. I only
Yeah,
got
you
2
don't.
left. The weekend's coming up.
Yeah, I never got that. Why do people say you're taking a shit when you're really just dumping a shit?
well, then we have the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. We got Sweet Tooth. He defended the champions. He won the match. beating Smash Page and Swerve Strickland with Prince na 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 hey hey goodbye. At this point in the show, I was just kind of tired, wanted it to honestly be end. I maybe didn't appreciate the match as much as I could have. Because there was some good storytelling. They did protect Swerve, which is appreciated. Uh, and it kind of told the story of how far gone Paige is as well, with also keeping Joe a strong champion as well. So it all did kind of mesh well, even though I may have not appreciated as much as I necessarily could or should. Kaliko.
Full disclosure, when I was watching these pay-per-view, I had my mom with me.
Interesting.
Of course, when Swerve came out, the first thing she say is, and I quote, "Man, they making these niggas look bad with the damn." It upset at their mom. It's popular. It's like, ugh, black folks will do anything.
You
I'm just like,
kids,
Mom.
you kids with your Smirnoff Ices and your Dan Fogelberg.
Oh gosh. But all in all, the match was pretty good. I was at a friend's house. We were sitting there watching the match. I knew Joe was gonna win, but the way that they explained Hangman tapping was very interesting because they were like, okay, did he tap because he really wanted to tap, or did he tap because he would rather see him lose than to see Swerve win, which is interesting. That is an interesting take on a triple threat match where he's like he hated the dude so bad that he would have rather tap and not have that motherfucker have a shot at all.
Right.
And the camera angle where they showed Swerve looking at him like, what the fuck? That tells me it was the latter. So overall, good storytelling. Joe wins, which means Joe Wardlow, meaty men.
Yeah, they'll run it back. Right, Squirtle.
I like the idea of if you really look at Page's eyes when he's locked in the clutch, it's almost he's like scanning his peripheral to see where Swerve is, and of course he can't see Swerve because Swerve is behind him diagonally and getting ready to get up, and then Page just taps, and it's almost like that wasn't the finish Swerve was told. That they wanted him to react like that, as if that there was a chance that he was going to get put over, only for it to not happen. Which, let's be clear here, you kind of do have to. The lines of face and heel really do need to be defined a bit more when it comes to Swerve and Hangman. This is going to generate so much more sympathy from the fans towards Swerve, and for the first time in in its entire existence, this is the first time AEW is establishing proper precedent to turn someone into a number one contender. Not just by sheer happenstance or of who you're involved with. Swerve has earned this spot. And that little piece of psychology is going to go a long way. I don't know if I would want Swerve to be the one who takes it off Joe. Oh God, who were we talking about before with the Okada? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they would have had a bigger splash if MJF had come back, and it turns out he brought Okada back. But again, Swerve, they're doing it right with him. It's up to AEW to decide whether or not they get past the line of scrimmage.
How many stars do you give this one?
I will give it 4.5. Best match of the night.
Kaliko?
Yeah, about 4.5. So he's basically saying AEW has Swerve in the Marshawn Lynch position and don't fuck it up like Russell Wilson did in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I would have probably gave it 4, but I'll be generous and give it 4.5 as well. You make good points. Alright, now we go to the main event, the last match, the thing that everybody paid a ticket for. It was Sting's last match.
What did they pay? What did they pay for? What did they pay? They paid a ticket?
They paid a ticket for Sting. Sting's last match.
I didn't realize tickets were currency.
Okay. It was a tornado tag team match. No disqualification, also known as a lazy booking match. For the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It lasted 21 minutes and 3 seconds. Sting and Darby retained, defeating the middle-aged Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas.
You mean more like the Wright brothers?
Nicholas.
You mean the Wright brothers?
It was
They chose wrong.
It wasn't Ric Flair's last match, so that's a great news. When you have that to compare it to, then it's a 5-star, it's a 82-star match in the Tokyo Dome.
I have a question for you two about this, and you got to answer this honestly. How many of you thought Wolfpack Sting was actually Sting?
Not Wolfpack Sting, but the one that before Software Sting.
When his first kid, when he first came out, I thought it was Sting. And then when the second kid came out, I was like, ain't no goddamn way that's Sting.
Yeah.
Unless he...
Sting Jr. That's actually his name. Steve Borden Jr. So, yes, there could actually be a Sting Jr.
Yeah. It was somewhat clusterfuckery.
In the beginning, because it turned from a tornado tag to a handicap match.
And I mean, everybody, everybody's talking about the spot with Darby where he literally just threw himself on a plate of glass.
I knew he was going through it. I was like, ain't no way the Bucks doing that
No,
shit.
everybody
The
knows.
Bucks.
Everybody knows. I feel like that spot really took away from Sting and acknowledging, focusing on Sting. I kind of feel like it made us think about how fucking stupid is Darby, rather than good. Good for you, Sting. Thank you for all the memories. Way to go,
No, that's the
Anaheim.
story, sir. You're missing the angle. The angle was that Darby was so daring that he was willing to die for it, and he damn near did, and left Sting all alone in Darby's hubris to try to prove his point that he's willing to die for Sting.
I don't know
That's just
about him being in his
creepy.
hubris, but he was in the hospital for a good hot minute.
Bro, they put a tourniquet on his ass. I was like, what the fuck, bro? You need to go to Kaiser. You don't need to be here. You need to be a Radies, Sharp.
They had to sew up his butthole.
Like, Jesus. For real, though?
Jesus ain't gonna help.
Yeah, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with that. That dude's tripping.
I don't think Jesus was in the crowd for that night. He usually regularly visits AEW, but not that night, at least. What your thoughts on the match, Kaliko?
I was for sure thinking the Bucks were gonna win, and then Sting won. And then I was today years old when I found out that he was undefeated this whole goddamn time in AEW.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? He's out here got a Goldberg streak with his old ass?
29-0, I believe.
Over 4
I
years.
of over. That's what I'm saying. This dude wrestled what 4 times a year.
Six times a year, roughly.
Not a bad schedule, honestly.
More than Roman.
Or,
You're not wrong.
how dare you?
Hey, can
Roman's
we talk about the fact that they actually mentioned Sting's retirement on Raw, and fucking Pat McAfee said, "Great match last night,"
Yeah, he did.
and Michael Cole, in the most politest way ever, told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
but I was surprised to see Sting go out as the winner because it was like, okay, the Buck gotta win to get this titles off of him, and Darby can flounder on his own. But no, they won,
The one
and
time,
Darby is still floundering.
the one time we needed Big Young Bucks to actually win a match, and they don't, and now we're subjected to another AEW tournament.
Well, I mean,
Does the day end in Y? Then it's time for another AEW tournament.
from what I heard, it was the Bucks' insistence that they put Sting over.
Yes, because Sting really needed that rub.
Yeah.
Along with Tony Khan. So 3 people on one saying, go out like Elway. And Sting's like, motherfucker, am I? Because it would have got more heat on the Bucks to say that they beat Sting in his final match. But they already had heat for being Sting's final match. And then they beat Sting with the titles. That would have been fucking nuclear X-Pac-ish heat.
You know, I did not realize that the Bucks renamed into the Tony Khan driver.
Apparently, yeah, that was the first time I heard it. And
Well, Melter ain't signing checks.
I am certainly EVP triggered.
yep. Alright, well, how many stars you give this one, Scooter?
I will give it a couple of thumbtacks. Almost 3.5.
Kaliko.
I'm gonna say this. I love Sting. Sting was cool, although he never put nobody over.
Put Magnus
But I'm gonna give
over.
this a what?
Magnus, Nick Aldis.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you were there,
Boy,
weren't you?
stop it. I give it a 3 just because of the fact that they had the speech and they cut the speech off
Yeah.
in the middle of the goddamn.
Like, hold on, I'm getting cues. Fade to black.
I know.
And Fight TV never had more complaints than it did on Sunday.
I know, because everybody in our house, like in my buddy's house, we were like, "What the fuck?"
And what was really kind of disturbing was to see how nonchalant they were about that. It's like, no, they didn't even apologize. They didn't say, "Oh, sorry. I'm sure Sting's speech would be online." Like, okay, great. Assuming that they were intending on doing some sort of "this is your life" thing, probably would have been best saved for Dynamite.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, like,
Let me ask you this. If there was no speech at the end of the match before they went off air, and it was just Sting like mouthing thank you and raising Darby's hand and, maybe some confetti, would you have had an issue with that?
no, I wouldn't have. It would have made the most logical sense. And then I would have expected Darby to nail him in the head with a chair.
Oh, I for sure thought he was gonna fucking turn on him. I was like, hit him, you pussy, hit him.
Yeah, we were all like, "Oh, come on, Darby has to turn heel. Otherwise, Tony's going to give us another reality show about looking for his new tag team partner." Which, by the way, if he wouldn't it be great if it turns out that the next person Darby wins the tag titles with is Kenny Omega?
I was thinking, his Sting's son is Jack.
Oh yeah, they're signed.
Huh?
Oh yeah, they're signed.
So I was just thinking, Sting came out on Wednesday and say there's not going to be a tournament. My son is going to be Darby's new tag team partner.
Yeah, no,
Boy,
no,
hell no, hell no. You bet not.
I mean, there's only so much nepotism that can happen in AEW.
I don't know if that's
The fuck he is. The fuck he is his partner.
That's a natural
Crack
progression, I
rock
would
he's
say.
smoking.
But Darby's not going to be there for much longer. He's going to climb Mount Everest. So even if he did, beat up Sting, it was gonna be lost because he's not going to be there either. Theoretically, this might be Darby Allin's last match, depending on what he does on that fucking mountain. So, yeah.
I swear to God, if Darby actually like freezes to death in a certain position,
No, he tries to coffin drop off of the peak of Mount Everest.
Oh my god.
and he still hasn't hit the ground since.
You gave it 3.5 stars, Kaliko?
I gave it 3 because they fucked up that
I-
goddamn
Okay.
I gave it
speech.
3.5 because
Yeah.
they fucked up the speech. Yeah.
And I give this match 5 stars, simply for the fact that it was not Ric Flair's last match. And for that reason alone, it is worth 5 stars.
Wait, this just in at Dynasty. Darby Allin and Ric Flair against the Young Bucks.
Will you stop it?
Ric Flair would pull some shit like that.
Yeah, he would. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of AEW Revolution and this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Pale Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Ken Zane, this Wednesday as we interview Jim Melancholy, and join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new interviews. Follow us so at Wrestling with E, but on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I mean, I'm 10, so I'm too young for Twitter. So,
But you're perfect for X.
perfect for X. I am Kaliko.
And where we could be finding Scooter.
As always, find me on X at Scooter Dust. The X profile pick contest still running wild. Nobody has been able to tell me what that profile pick is. If you are able to, you will win a free year of Peacock.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.